for everyone. You can also send us an email, info@dataleum.com, and you can send a message on WhatsApp in case you have any form of inquiry whatsoever. Like I mentioned earlier, my name is Oluwakemi Lawal, and I've been addressing us on the WhatsApp group chat. So yes, please feel free to send me a message or give me a call. I'm always available to respond. Thank you very much, everyone. So please, if you're still with me, kindly drop a yes in the chat box. If you're still with me, kindly drop a yes. All right. Thank you, Lillian. Thank you. All right. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so moving on, I would like to bring on board our facilitator. And this is someone I'm really always excited to introduce to people because let me just say I'm very proud to be associated with her. She's one of our top facilitators. She's very good, one of the top professionals you're going to be learning from, and you'll be glad that you're learning from her. Her name is Mrs. Titi Damiro. She'll be our facilitator for today. Now, before I bring her on board, I'd like to give a brief introduction. She's an active alumna of Dataleum with over 14 years work experience in the banking industry, where she excelled across commercial, mortgage, and payment service sectors. She's also passionate about making a lasting impact in the lives of people, general and personal career development. She's a qualified and chartered human resource practitioner. She is also an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. She's a certified data analyst and an HR analyst who is skilled in the use of SQL, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, and other analytical tools. She has made tremendous impact in the lives of over thousands of individuals by impacting her knowledge and her experience in data analytics. And yes, she's happily married with 2 kids. So I'm so excited. So yes, we have Titi Damiro here to take us on strategic HR analytics, and you're going to learn from one of the best professionals. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll hand over to Anna. Please ensure that your laptop is set and ready to work. We're going to get our hands dirty. We're going to be working with data sets. Ensure you have the data set downloaded on your laptop. And also for a smooth learning experience, please unmute. You need to mute your mic. If you need to ask a question, you can always use the chat box. And yes, I'll still be here. I'm going to respond to your messages in the chat box. Thank you very much, everyone, and do enjoy this training. It's about to get much more interesting and way better than you imagined. Over to you, Titi Damiro.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Kemi. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you to everyone who is joining the class today. Thank you so much. And I want to believe that at the end of today's class, it will not be a waste of your time, but knowledge would have been impacted into you today. Please kindly drop a yes in the chat section if you can hear me, so I will know that you can all hear me. And if you can hear any noise in the background, please kindly let me know so I can adjust. Just say noise in the background, then I know that I can hear noise from the background, then I can adjust. All right, thank you for that. So just give me a minute, let me adjust that noise in the back. Okay, somebody said no noise in the background, okay. All right, just a minute, let me set up the slide. All right, welcome everyone. So before I start with my slide, I would just like us to, maybe 1 or 2 persons to share with me what are their expectations for this class. You can unmute your mic if you're in a quiet environment. Just share with me what your expectations for this class are. Okay, don't worry. That sound is air in the background. Just give me a minute. Let me adjust it. So I guess we should all be fine now. There should be no noise, no air, nothing at the background at the moment. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so please, you can unmute your mic to let me know what your expectations are.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Moses, and my expectations for this class is to learn how to use data to answer basic HR questions, to use data to solve HR metric calculations. Thank you.
All right, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. Anybody, please? Any other person? Maybe two more persons before we go on in the class.
My name is Nuruddin. My expectation is basically to use data to make HRO decision enterprise-wide.
Okay. All right, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. What about our ladies in the house? Any lady, at least two?
Hi, my name is Hannah. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Oh, okay. I just want to understand basic HRO data analytics and how to forecast data for decision making.
Okay. All right, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. And I hope that at the end of this class, all our expectations will be met. So thank you so much once again. Welcome to the HR Analytics Masterclass powered by Dataleum, the best data school in the world. I said so. And I believe that at the end of this class, you would also agree with me that Dataleum is the best data school in Africa. I mean, in the world, rather. All right, sorry, my laptop wants to mess up, but I actually have another one as a backup. So don't be afraid. Don't worry, this class is going to go on smoothly, seamlessly, without any itches. Okay, our course outline for today's class is what is HR analytics, why HR analytics, application of HR analytics, the process of HR analytics, data analysis tools, introduction to Microsoft Power BI, benefits of Power BI, the steps in using Power BI, and also we'll be moving on to hands-on practical session. And the good thing about the hands-on practical session is that it's not all about Power BI. We'll also be looking at Excel, how to also analyze data with Excel before we move on to also analyzing data with Power BI. Yeah, the next slide here is what is HR analytics? I believe we are all HR professionals. I don't need to define what HR is. I believe we have men and women of Timber and Kadiba in the HR professional on this call. So I won't be going into what HR is, but we'll be looking at what HR analytics is. And HR analytics is the process of collecting and analyzing human resources data in order to improve an organization's workforce performance. So if you want to improve the performance of your organization, there's a need for you to go into HR analytics. And the key to understanding HR analytics is that it is not simply about making HR better, but it's about making the entire business better. Usually organizations routinely collect data, but oftentimes this data collection goes unanalyzed. We just have data stacked in our cabinets, but we don't analyze this data. Meanwhile, there are lots of insights that we can draw from this data. There are lots of opportunity that we can get if we capitalize on the data. And also, if organizations implement HR analytics, it enables the leaders, that is the management now, maybe the C-level management or the middle-level management, to make stronger and evidence-based decisions in relation to their workforce so that they can manage the people better, they can improve the work environment and also maximize employee productivity. So imagine you're working in a place and there's a high turnover and you as the HR manager, you've not taken note of it, or maybe the HR officer, you've not taken note of the high turnover rate, probably because you're not doing your analysis, you're not looking into your records, or you don't even have any record to go by in the first instance. It's going to be, it's just a time bomb that is waiting to explode. Because if at the end of the day, everybody leaves the organization, then who is left to work in the organization? So that's, one of the major reasons why we need to do, study HR analytics. And that's why Dataleum is bringing this course to us, to understand what HR analytics is. But you cannot define HR analytics and also not talk about data, because data is the bedrock on which HR analytics is built. So now we're looking at what is data. Data is a set of values of qualitative and quantitative variables. That means values that you can count and values that you can describe. So it's not just about numbers alone. It also talks about non-numeric variables as well. Data doesn't actually have any meanings. For example, you are looking at, just figures. They might not really have any meaning to you until you sort this information, and then you are able to make, calculations from them. You're able to draw insights and decisions from whatever value that you have. Now, why is HR analytics needed? HR analytics can help you answer these questions and many more. These are just a few questions that HR analytics will help you to answer. What are the factors that are affecting productivity? As an HR professional, have you taken your time to look into your data, the records that you have, and look at the factors that are affecting productivity? In this world of working from home, are you able to measure the productivity level of your employees, or you just leave them to work the way they want to work? Do you have metrics in place for you to measure their productivity? Is your company still meeting its income at the end of the day, even though people are working from home? Number two, what is the turnover rate? Its impact and factors, are they and the factors affecting it? Have you taken time to look at your organization in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, the rate at which people are leaving? Are they living in their thousands? Is it above the required turnover rate? Are they leaving from a certain department? Are they leaving from a certain unit? And then what are you doing if they're leaving from a certain department or a certain unit? What have you done, or what are you going to do, to mitigate it? These are reasons why, HR analytics is needed. How long does it take to hire employees? What's your turnover rates for hiring your employees? Are you hiring managers wasting time? Do they just keep going back and forth on the recruitment process? This also costs money. What amount of investment is needed to get employees up to fully productive speed? What do you need? How much? What is the cost of training your employees, to make them more productive on the job so that your bottom line or your income can be increased? Which of our employees are most likely to leave within the year? Do you have your bench strength analysis calculation? Do you know which of your employees are likely to leave, either due to them staying so long in the organization, either due to them, reaching the retirement age, or either due to non-satisfaction on the job, or for whatever reasons? You can do this analysis, and that will also help you make better and informed decisions. Are learning and development initiatives having an impact on employee performance after you send your employee for maybe on a quarterly basis or on a monthly basis, depending on your organization? When you do your performance, do you use that performance results, to check if the learning and development initiative is having impact on them or not? Do you just send them for training's sake, and they come back and they're not better people? Is it helping? When they go for training and come back, are they helping to boost your organization at the end of the day? Are you seeing the impact in your employees' performance? These are questions and things that you can do with HR analytics knowledge. Now, the next slide is talking about the application of HR analytics. Please kindly drop a yes if you can hear me. This virtual class at times can make you feel as if you're talking to yourself alone. Kindly drop a yes if you're feeling me. It doesn't look as if I'm just talking to myself. It doesn't feel as if I'm talking to myself alone. Okay, thank you so much for that. All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. I appreciate the feedback. All right, so application of HR analytics. You can apply HR analytics in turnover rates calculation. And as I said earlier, we are men of timber and caliber in the HR field, so we all know what turnover rate is. It is a percentage of employees who left a company within a certain period of time. The metrics is monitored over time and is compared to the organization's acceptable rate or goal. Number two, you can use HR analytics for your succession planning. You can use that to know who is to take over from who in the organization. You can use it for mentorship program. You can use it for grooming program in your organization. If you don't look at your HR analytics as in your HR data, it might be difficult for you to have a sustainable succession plan. And you will agree with me that if you don't have a succession plan in an organization, that organization is likely to die very soon because it doesn't have the next generation that will take over from, the current older employees that are there. Number 3, absenteeism. Have you taken time to look at absenteeism rate and how it's affecting your job, how it's affecting the organization? Or do we just allow our staff members to mark register because we want to fulfill our righteousness? Your attendance register can help you a great deal to improve, work in your organization, improve productivity. Because if you sit down and you analyze over a period of time and you realize that certain people come late or they don't even come to work at all without any reason, then you need to call those sets of people for meeting. That means they're not ready to do the job. And you agree with me that if a staff is missing from his desk for a day or two, something is missing in the organization, that job that staff is supposed to do is not being done, and it might impact the organization negatively. The next slide, just a minute. Just a minute. The next slide will come up shortly. Okay, yeah. The next slide talks about time to hire. That is the number of days that it takes to post jobs and finalize the hiring of candidates. This metric is monitored over time and is compared to the desired organizational rates. And then you also have recruitment cost to hire, and you also have engagement rates and rating. Are your staff engaged? You also have to find out that now that you're even working from home, how do you even know if they're engaged or not? So there are metrics and things that you can put in place. Maybe you can have your IT monitor the time they log on their system, and you can use this timing, to calculate your engagement ratings for your organization. Now, the next slide talks about the process of HR analytics. We have 4 processes itemized here for HR analytics. And the first one is understand the question or the problem that you want to solve. Before you can start any analysis project or assignment, you need to understand the question or the problem that you're trying to solve. Is it turnover rates that you're trying to solve? Because that will help you know the kind of data to collect. Because you can't just go about collecting different kinds of data, and at the end of the day, they are worthless. You've wasted time. So it's good to first and foremost sit down and understand what question or problems they are trying to solve in the organization. And that will help you, know the kind of data to collect. The questions can be, what is the business issue that you want to address? What are the internal or external business factors that you should be aware of your organization? You can also ask questions like, who will be impacted by the results? Will the results of this analysis lead to any significant or meaningful changes? So these are the kind of questions and many more that you can ask yourself. Engagement rates, are the staffs well engaged? Training and development impact, are they being impacted by the training and development, or do they just go for training and come back and they remain the same on the job? These are the kind of questions you can ask yourself and then profile solution to. So when you know the kind of questions you want to answer, let's assume that you want to answer the turnover rate issue in your organization, then you go on to the next step, which is to identify, to collect, and then to cleanse the data. This is where the major job is, because data collection and cleansing can be a bit taxing, for people to go into. But there are times that you have good IT people. When they give you the data comes in a clean form. So you might really not need to do so much cleaning of the data. But oftentimes, this is where the major work of HR analytics or data analytics, this is where it resides: identifying, collecting, and then cleansing the data. Number 3 is analyzing, and then you extract the data that you want. Then number 4, when you're done with the entire process, you need to communicate, and then you evaluate, and then you implement. Because it's one thing to know to have answers to the problem. It's another thing for you to be able to implement it in the organization. Because if you know that, yes, there's a turnover, we have turnover issues in our organization, and you are able to streamline it to the fact that maybe staffs are not satisfied on the job, or you are able to streamline it to one reason or the other, and you do not take steps or actions to mitigate what is causing the turnover rate, all the process you've taken is just a waste of time. Because at the end of the day, you're not implementing what you have put in so much time and energy. So as HR professionals, when we carry out HR analytics, we should ensure that we present it before our management in a way that they will understand, and then also give approval for implementation of whatever solutions that will come up with. This small picture here is showing us that HR analytics is important across all board, all sectors. Is it in the financial services? Is it in the banking and insurance? Is it in supply chain, telecoms? Is it in health and the pharmaceuticals? Is it in government? It is very, very important. There's nowhere that HR analytics is not important, because all these organizations will be involved in hiring, they'll be involved in training, employee satisfaction, productivity measurements, workforce analysis, compensation, and even career planning. So HR analytics is very, very important in all sectors. So you might be saying, oh, I'm a banker. In what way is HR analytics going to help me on my job? Or you might be saying, oh, I'm in telecoms or I'm in health and pharma. How am I going to use HR analytics in my job? There are so many ways in which you can use it. You can use it to measure your hiring efficiency, your training effectiveness, employee satisfaction, productivity measurement, and also workforce analysis, compensation, and also career planning. You can use HR analytics for all this and many more. Now we're moving on to the tools for HR analytics and visualization. There are a lot of tools for HR analysis, as we can see on display here on the screen. You have Tableau, you have R, you have SQL, you have Power BI, you have Apache Spark, you have Microsoft Excel. But our focus today is basically on Power BI and on Microsoft Excel as well. So now, introduction to Power BI itself. What is Power BI? Power BI is a business analytics service by Microsoft that delivers insights to enable fast and informed decision. So this Power BI is powered by Microsoft. The same way you have Microsoft Word, you have Microsoft Excel, you have Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Access. Power BI is also powered by Microsoft company, and it helps you to deliver insights very fast than the traditional way in which you are used to maybe carrying paper and files up and down, and then we take days in taking informed decisions. With Power BI, with click of a button, you are able to take decisions very fast. What are the benefits of Power BI? It can connect to hundreds of data sources. So for some organizations, their data source is probably maybe Microsoft Access or SQL or MailChimp or the cloud or even Microsoft Excel. Whatever data source you're using in your organization, you are covered, because Power BI can connect to a whole lot of sources. And you have nothing to worry about. You might be wondering, oh, after I learn Power BI, how do I implement it in my organization? Oh, we don't save our information on SQL. What we do is we save it on Excel or on Access. You have nothing to worry about. You're covered. Power BI can connect. It can even connect to text as well and CSV files. Another benefit of Power BI is that it can collaborate and share dashboards in your organization. So let's assume you are like 4 or 5 in your organization, and probably you're asked to come up with a report. Once you're done with your report, you can share it with everybody in your organization. And any changes that you make at any point in time is synchronized at real time, and everyone can see any addition. You don't have to tell them, unlike when you are using Excel, and maybe you've sent an information before and there's an update, you have to resend the file. With Power BI, you don't have to do that. Once you make any adjustments or any change on any dashboard, automatically it's changed across board, and every other person can see what is being done. Okay, someone said I should kindly increase my volume. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute, please. Let me work on the volume. Okay, my volume is 100 already. All right, please kindly let me know if you can't still hear me properly. All right, thank you, Adedayo, for that. All right. 1 minute, I want to take us to the next benefit of Power BI. Just a minute. And the system is just a bit slow. Okay. And another benefit is that you can stay connected from any device. So let's assume you're using iOS or you're using Windows or you're using Android, you're all covered on Power BI. It can connect to all these devices. It has application for Windows, it has for iOS, and it has for Android as well. I don't know if some of you have downloaded the mobile version. I have the mobile version on my phone, and I use an Android device, and it works perfectly well. So that's another benefit of Power BI as well. So we're going to go into the steps in using Power BI. So the first step here is importing the data from various sources. So depending on the source where your data is stored in your organization, you can import your data from that place. But for this class today, we are going to be importing our data from Excel. The next thing is data cleaning. You'll clean your data in case, when we talk about data cleaning, it has to do with, let's say, data type, for example. Let's assume the data is date value, but the date arrangement is not properly arranged. You have to arrange the data to be uniform. You cannot have months first, and then you have day following, and then you have year, and then for some you have day, you have month, you have year. If you try to analyze that kind of data, your information will be distorted because it is not uniform. So that's one example of data cleaning. And then maybe, for example, you have values, and the values are not coming up as numeric, they're coming up as maybe text. You have to also change that text, to values, because they're actually values. If you try to sum them or try to analyze that kind of information, it's going to give you distorted information. It will not be correct. So that's two examples of data cleaning. There are so many examples of data cleaning. But for the data we're going to use today, the data has been cleaned, it has been sorted already. So we will not be doing data cleaning for today's class. Then also we have data modeling, that is where necessary. Data modeling is connecting more than one table to each other. So let's assume you have the employee table, and then you have maybe the salary table. So you have where you store your employee information, and then you have where you store their salary payment. And you want to join these two informations together instead of analyzing them separately. That's what we call data modeling. You can join what is common to both of them. So let's assume they both have the employee number on each table. You can join the employee number on the employee table to the employee number on the salary table. And then once you do that, you've modeled your data together, and then you are able to analyze the data together. Then we also have creating measures where necessary. Measures are basically arithmetic, calculations. When you want to do maybe numeric calculations, you use your measures for it. And then finally, we have the data visualization, which we'll be doing on both Excel and on Power BI as well. All right, I will stop this slide here. I will be going directly now to Power BI. Kindly let me know if your Power BI is on already, please. Kindly drop a yes if your Power BI is on already. So I would know if I should just go directly to Power BI so I can explain better. You have a better understanding in Power BI than me displaying it here in PowerPoint. So I'm just going to close this. I'm just going to bring up my All right, thank you. Then please kindly confirm if you can see my Power BI desktop screen as well. Just say yes, BI. So I know that you can see my Power BI screen. If not, let me know. All right, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Abraham, Anna, someone from the team will attend to you. If your Power BI is not coming up, someone will reach out to you privately to help you with the installation of your Power BI. And also this session is recorded, so you can always have access to it. Please kindly mute your mic. Thank you very much. I just want to give time. Okay, thank you so much. Let me know if you can also, if you have the same display as I do, maybe yes display, let's see. Virtual class can be very funny at times. So maybe let's say yes display, if you have the same display as I have here in front of me. If you don't have this, that means you're using an older version of Power BI. This is the latest version. Let me even check what version I'm using at the moment. Okay. Okay, this is December 2020 version. Okay, we're good. Well, you're using an older version. If you don't have this, but it's fine. It doesn't distort anything. It's still fine. You can do your analysis perfectly well. Perfectly well. Just one or two features. But what we are doing today is just basic. So you might not even get to the point of having to do one or two, advanced features like that. This is just an introductory, class to what Power BI is all about, and also Microsoft Excel. So this is what Power BI looks like when you power it on. If you don't have this, please don't worry. That's an older version, but it still doesn't distort what we're going to do today in class. So you can see it says add data to your report. So you can either import data from Excel, you can import data from SQL, you can paste it as a table, or you can try their sample data sets that they already have saved in Power BI here. It has more than these sources. So let me just show you more sources that you have. When you come to get data here and you drop it down, you will see lots of other sources that you can connect to. You have Excel, you have Power BI data set, data flow, SQL. You have text and CSV. Please just a minute. I don't know what's wrong with this Power BI. All right, just a minute. Let me come up. Let me put it on again. Just a minute. And then for those who don't have the Power BI yet, you can just use this time while my own is coming up to also try to get your Power BI up and running. If you need to talk to any of the support team that we have on this call, please kindly reach out to them. They'll be glad to assist you. Just a minute, it's coming up. So, all right. Just a minute, let me read this. Okay, don't worry, somebody will attend to you. Someone will attend to you. Please, Oluwakemilawa, please kindly attend to those who don't have access to Power BI yet. All right, so these are the different sources that we have that you can also connect to. When you click on more data sources are going to pop up. All right, so we have more data sources here. When you drag it down, you see a whole lot of data sources that your Power BI can connect to. So I'm just going to cancel this. And then, so you can get your data from here. You can just connect directly. If you know your data source is Excel, just click on Excel directly, and then you go to where you save the information, and then you connect to it. If it is Power BI data set, if it is SQL, just click on this. So you might not need to go to the get data if you know where your source is. And looking at this, this is the report page. You have it here. This is where your visualization is going to show your display. That means your graphs, your chart, everything you display is going to show on this page here, where I'm hovering the mouse over. And then you have the data page. This place is where your data set, you will see it the same way it is on Excel in table format. It's going to display here. And then this place where you have the model is where your data modeling takes place, where you join your tables in case you're working with more than one table. You can see an example here. This is where you connect your tables together. But for today's class, we are working with just one table. So we don't need to do data modeling for today's class. So that's the interface there. Then you have filters. This is where you filter your data set. You have your visualization. This is where you select the kind of visuals that you want. This first one is the bar chart. This second one is the column chart. You also have the pie chart. You have the donut chart. You have the tree map. You have your slicer. You have your matrix, your table, and then you have your matrix. You have a whole lot of data sets here and data visualization tools here. And if there's anyone here that you don't want, maybe you want an advanced type, then you can go to the Power BI market to buy. And then there are some free ones there too. And then this is where your information is going to be displayed. That means your data set that you're going to bring in from Excel is going to be displayed there. Once we go into our Excel and we bring in the data set, you're going to see how it's going to look like at the end of the day. And then we also have insert here. This is where you can insert new visuals. You can get more visuals from this place. That is from the app source. You can also insert a toolbox in case you want to have an heading for your visualization. You can have your text box here. You can bring in shapes if you want from this part. You can also bring in images, maybe your company logo. You can bring it in from this part. I don't know what's wrong with this Power BI. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me switch my systems. Let me switch on to another system. All right, can you hear me, please? Can you drop a yes if you can hear me? I've changed my system. All right, thank you very much. So I'll be sharing my screen again. So I want to believe that we can all see my Power BI screen now. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. This Power BI I'm using is actually on this other system. Why I didn't want to use it is that it's the older version that is here. I've not updated it yet. But as I said, all the same, it still doesn't distort what we are doing for today's class at all. You can see that there's an information telling me to update my Power BI at the edge here, but not now, because it might take a while if care is not taken. So this is Power BI now. All right, I was talking about insert before the other system messed up. Okay, so now we have the modeling. This is where you carry out your data modeling. And then you have your view. This is where you can change the background of your visualization. Let me use this color. You can see that's changed to purple. So depending on what you're trying to do, there are times you want to configure the background of your visualization to that of your organization. It's fine. There's no problem about that. You can also do that. Oh, someone said he or she cannot hear me. Please kindly connect to your audio. All right, thank you very much. All right, so that is that. And then now we'll be going to our Excel. We'll do one or two visualizations on Excel. I'll show us how to do data analysis or HR analytics on Excel. So please kindly put on your Excel. Well, if you're at your Excel, that's the data set I was sent to you yesterday, kindly just say yes, Excel. All right, thank you. All right, that's beautiful. So if you notice, there's a difference between my own data set and your own data set. Who can just tell me the difference? Just look at it. Compare what you're seeing on your screen now and what you have at your own end. You can unmute your mic if you are not in a noisy environment. And let's just know what's the difference between what I have on my own screen and what you have at your end.
Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, let me copy it from here. Anybody willing to help us? What's the difference?
Yeah, hello, can you
Let's
hear
do an
me?
attempt. Somebody said, I have 3 sheets.
Hello,
Okay,
can you hear me?
let's attempt. I like the class to
Can
be
you hear
very
me,
interactive
please?
because in the honest truth is that we are all learning.
Oh, okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Fumi Kuboyejo. You said ours is a table and yours is just data. Yes, that is true. Oluwakemilawa will attend to you, Olusuya Abiodun. Or you can check your mail or your junk for the data set. It was sent yesterday. So, all right, that's correct. Mine is just a data. It's not in a table format. So I'm going to show us how to achieve what you have at your end. I'm going to show you how to achieve what you have at your end because it's very important that before you analyze any data, you ensure that it is in the table format. Because if it's not in the table format, you might find it very difficult to analyze your data. It's going to give you distorted figures. So to convert your data into table, all you need to do is to select the entire data set. Once you select the data set, you can see my data set has been selected. You can click on Control T, and then a dialog box comes up. Once it comes up, you click on OK. Because someone said they can't hear me. Can you hear me now, please?
We can hear you.
All right. Just a minute, please. Can you hear me now, please?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. So sorry, I'm actually using I'm hovering between two systems at this time. I don't know why the PowerPoint on my main system just went off. I'm using the sound of one and I'm using the Power BI on the other one, but I've migrated fully to the one I'm using now. So I'm using both the volume and also the Excel and Power BI on this new system I'm using at the moment. Sorry for that if you could not hear me for a while now. So I'll just quickly go back. Okay, I asked the question initially, what was the difference between what I have on my system and what you have at your own end? And someone answered and said, what you have at your end is a table. What I have at my own end here, what you can see on the system is just ordinary data. And I said, yes, that's absolutely correct. But it's very important that you format your data into tables before you start your analysis. It helps your analysis and ensure that there's no, figures that you don't need infringing into your data, your table that you're analyzing. And then also, if you're updating your records, if it's in a table format, automatically it will be updated. But if it is not in table format, it will not be updated. But once you have your data set in a table format, once you add more information to it, either to the left, to the right, or underneath or above it, wherever you add information to it, automatically the table will update it. So I said, all you need to do is just to select the entire table first and foremost. Once you select it, you click on Control T. If your Control T is not working, please just kindly go to your Home tab. Once you get to your Home tab, come to Format as Table. And then you click on Format as Table, and then you can select any of the format and table items that you have there. And then you have your data formatted. So I said, before we go on to the analysis proper, when I looked at the number of people that registered, and I looked at the proficiency level of the people that registered on Excel, I realized that a larger percentage of people are beginners in Excel. So I will not rush the Excel class, and I'll just take my time so that every one of us can understand, and then this time can be worth it for every one of us. So I'll just show us one or two functions in Excel before I show us how to analyze data on Excel, and then we'll move on to Power BI. So I want to show us the count function. Now you have your data set. The first thing you do when you get your data set is after you format your data as table, there's a need for you to understand the data itself. Now let's start. The first column that we have here is the employee number. And the employee number is a number that uniquely identifies each employee in an organization. You agree with me that no two employees can share the same employee number. So every employee has its own unique employee number. Then the next one is the department. So this department tells us the different departments that we have in the organization that we want to analyze. And by the way, this data set is data set for, let me just say, XYZ company that is experiencing a high turnover rate, and they want us to look into it and come up with reasons or ideas why they're having high turnover rates. So this is the department that we have in the organization. We have accounting, we have HR, we have IT, we have management, marketing, production management, research and development. We have the sales, we have the support, and we have the technical. Then when you come next here, this is the work accident. Work accident says yes or no. It's talking about people that had work accidents in the organization. So yes, it's for people that had, while no, it's for people who didn't have any accidents, in the organization. Then you have promotion last 5 years. This is for people that were promoted. So you can see yes, and you can also see no. So for those that have no, it means they were not promoted within the last 5 years. And for those that have yes, it means they were promoted within the last 5 years. Then you also have the salary scale as well. Under the salary scale, you have the high, you have the low, and then you have the medium. Next, we have the satisfaction level. And this ranges between between 0.09 to 1. Then you also have the last evaluation, what their score was in their last evaluation. Because somebody said, how was salary scale measured? Okay, it depends. It's possible that they ranged it and say maybe people earning between 0 naira to, let's say, 100,000 is low salary. It depends on your organization and what you want to do. And it's possible they say, okay, people from 101,000 to 300,000, you know, that's medium. And then anybody above 500,000, you understand, is earning high salary scale. So it all depends on individual organization. It's not cast in stone. It depends on the way you want to scale it in your organization. But for the purpose of what we have here, we don't have the salary amount. So I can't really tell you which is high, which is low, and which is medium. But what we just know is that we have high salary scale, we have the low, and we have the medium for this data set that we have here today. We have the last evaluation. That means the score they got in their last evaluation. We have it here also. This is a range of it here. Then you have the number of projects that each person is handling in the organization. You have between 2 and 7. You have the average monthly hours that they work in the organization. You have between 96 hours to 310 hours. And then the next thing we have here is the years that each person has spent in the organization, that's each employee. And then we have, it ranges between 2 to 10 years. And then the last column here says left. This left means the people that have left the organization. So when you see no, it means the person is still in the organization. And when you see yes, it means the person is no longer in the organization. So now we'll go on to looking at 1 or 2 functions in Excel. So for us to know the total number of employees that we have in this data set, all you need to do is just to say equals to, you can use the count A function. The count A function is used to count alphabets, as in text details, or alphanumeric. So I'm going to come to my employee number. You can say the employee number is alphanumeric. Alphanumeric means it has both alphabet and it has letters. So you're going to use the count A. If you use ordinary count, you will not get it because ordinary count is used to count numeric values alone. So please kindly give me 1 minute. Let me attend to my voice in the background so that the noise will not be interfering. Just a minute, please. I'll be with you shortly. Sincere apologies, please. Thank you so much for letting me go and come back. That's the life of a working mother. All right, so we have here, as I said earlier, you use count A function to count for alphanumeric or for text values, while you use the normal counts to count for numeric. So let me do this for you. For example, when I put this count here, and I go back to my employee's number, you will see what's going to happen. You see the figure or the answer that it's going to give to us.
Zoom. Zoom. Meeting.
Please kindly mute your mic. Thank you. So you can see that we have 0. Why do we have 0? It's because we have used the wrong function to count the total number of employees that we have here. So we're going to go with the first figure that we have. So on this data set, we have 14,999 employees. Kindly drop a yes if you're able to achieve this value that I have on my screen, so that I know that we are all on the same page. No, okay. Oh. All right, I'll take it again, but we have to be mindful of time. Okay. All right, I'll take it again just for the last time. So I said they're going to use the count A function. All you need to do is to click on an empty cell. Okay, now in Excel, for the benefit of those who don't have any Excel knowledge, in Excel, This line you're looking at is your row. And then this is your column. And then this individual unit that you have here is called a cell. So just click on an empty cell, put an equals to sign inside the cell, just the way you have it here on my screen. Then type count. Before you finish typing count, Excel is going to bring up some ideas of what you're trying to count. Is it count, count A, count blank, count ifs, cube set count, D count, or D count A. But what we are looking at is the count A. Because our employee number is not in numeric, it's in alphanumeric. So we cannot use count. We have to use count A for it. So you click on your tab button. Once you select what you want, and then you just scroll to where you have your employee number, you click on it, and then you select it to the end. And then you press your enter button, and then you have your figure. So I want to believe you've all gotten that now. All right, then I'll also be showing us how to use the count if. The count if is a conditional function that is used when you are trying to give a conditional statement. Okay, count if this is this. Count if this is that. So now we'll be asking Excel to count for us by the number of people that have left. So we'll tell Excel, count if, this value here on this left is yes. So we'll come here and say equals to, please kindly mute your mic. The person who has the mic unmuted, please, so it doesn't interfere in the class. Thank you. So you have the count if. Let me move my screen, this part properly, so that we can all see it well. So you have your count if, and then you press your tab key. So you come here, you can see to ask you for the range, and then the criteria that you want to condition. So here you click on your yes, that's the beginning, and then you select everything to the end. And then you press, sorry, before that, you put a comma. So what's the criteria that we are trying to look at? We want to know the people that are still in the organization, which is yes. So you just use a double quotation, and then you type yes. You close your quotation, close your bracket, you press your enter. And then you can see your yes. These are the people that have left the organization. So this is your count if. This is how it works. We are not counting the total number of employees in the organization. Now we are counting the total number of people that have left the organization is what we are counting. And that is why we use the count if function. As I said earlier, it's a conditional statement. It's used for conditional statements where you're trying to condition your information. So I want you to count the total number of people that have left in this organization for me using yes. That is when you use count if. You can also use it to know the total number of people who are still in the organization is all still the same way. You have your count, and then you just tab it down to where you have your if, and then the same thing, you select, this is the range you want to condition, your comma, what are you looking for, which is no, that's the criteria you want to measure, and then you close your bracket, and then you have this. So let me just put yes by the side here, and then let me put no by the side. So this is how you use the count function. We can you drop a yes if you're on the same page before I move on. All right, thank you. Okay, I will take the count A function again. If you want to count the total number of employees in this organization, depending on the column that you're going to use, that determines the function you will use. Count function works for only numeric, while count A works for alphabet and alphabet plus numeric joined together. So I'm going to put the count A now. Just type in your count and then you tab your key. You click on your tab key. And then you select any column. So long as it's alphabet or alphanumeric, you close it, you press your enter key, and then you have your value. I want to believe that we're all on the same page now. All right, beautiful. Another function we'll be looking at is the count ifs. Let's also look at the count ifs, even though it's a bit technical, but I believe we can get it. Count ifs. This works with multiple criteria. So let's assume I want to count by the number of people that have left, and maybe probably by the number of people who have left and were not promoted. That is, we have two conditions. We have more than one condition. In that case, you have to use the count ifs. There are two of them. You have count if, and then you have count ifs. Count if is for just one condition. Why count ifs? That means the ifs that have S at the back is for when you want to use more than one criteria. Let's say maybe you want to know the people that have left the organization and also the people that maybe had workplace accident at the same time. So people that left with workplace accident, or people that left with workplace accident and had low salary. You can see we have three criteria. So depending on what you're trying to measure, then you can use the count ifs for it. So we'll just use an example where we'll be measuring two criteria with the count if. So we'll be looking at those that have left and had low salary. People that have left with low salary. So this is what we have. And then I have my table name. I have the salary. And we are looking at people that have low salary that have left. So if you look at, Excel gives you hints on what to do. So you can see count ifs underneath. Let me use my cursor. Let me bring it down there. Count ifs, you can see it tells you criteria. What's criteria? What's your criteria range? The criteria range we are looking at is the salary range. And our criteria is those that have low salary. Now, what is our next criteria range that I want to look at? Our next criteria range we are looking at is left. That means people that have left or stayed in the organization. So you put your comma, and then you can select if you want. You can type it out the way I'm doing if you want. And then I put my left, comma, and then I have yes. Then I close my brackets and I enter. Yes, Patrick, you're using the data set that was sent to you last night or yesterday evening. Please, that's the data set we're using. You can check if you have enable maybe somewhere on top, and then click on enable. Sometimes it comes with that asking you to enable the data set. So please check that. Okay, someone said I should click on it. Okay, I've clicked on it. This is it here. If you have any questions, please can unmute your mic. Please feel free to unmute your mic, please. If your environment is not noisy. Okay, the table 2 is just a default name given to the table. Look at it there, table name. Okay, hi, good evening.
This is Patrick. Yeah,
hi,
please,
Patrick.
Yeah, you said I should click enable.
And there are times when you put on your Excel, it doesn't happen for everybody. It comes up with a pop-up message.
Enable editing, right?
Yes.
I did that.
Then what happened?
No, as in I can type, I can do anything on my table, but then if I can't seem to do all those manipulations that you are doing, even when I do and I select it, I do it, I try to do it, it doesn't show me anything.
It shows you 0.
Hash name something, you know.
Okay, sorry, are you selecting it from the top where you have your title? Don't select from the title, please. I guess you're selecting from the title here, the heading. You're supposed to select from the first row, not the heading.
Select down.
Yes,
select the first employee.
Yes, which is row.
And draw down, right?
Yes, and draw down.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. You should be fine.
All right, thanks. Yeah.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah. So you can see the value we have here. Let me just put it as no/yes. So these are the people that are earning low salary, and then they've also left the organization. I will take the count ifs again. So this is it here.
Not yet.
Please kindly mute your mic.
I'm not understanding this thing now.
Don't worry, you will understand it. It's very simple. That is why I'm here for you. I'm all yours today.
Please, on my system, it's showing there's a problem with this formula. Not trying to type a formula, and I'm using, I don't quite understand the table aspects.
Your data set is already in table format.
Yes.
I intentionally left mine as data so I could show you how to format your data in case you encounter such, on your job. So you know how to format it. That's why I left mine as unformatted, and then I formatted it in the class so we can have the same thing now.
Oh, okay, but I'm trying to follow the examples you are giving, but mine, I'm not having same results. It's always showing there's a problem with this formula.
Are you starting from the title bar or from the very first data set after the title? You're not supposed to click on the title. You're supposed to start from the first data set.
Yes, I'm starting from the very first data set.
Okay.
And it's still giving me that same result. I don't know how else I can highlight it to.
Can you try it again, please? Let me put my cursor on one of the formulas and then you try it. Let's see what's happening.
Okay.
So let me just put it on this. Do the count A function and let's see.
Okay. Hold on, I'm coming.
Ensure to put your equals to sign. If you don't have the equals to sign, then you won't get the correct thing. So ensure you have your equals to sign and then type your count. As you're typing your count in, Excel itself will give you options of the different kinds of counts that we have.
Yes, there, count A.
Yes, then
the table 2, right?
You might not need to put table 2, just select. Look at what I'm doing now. Just come to where you click on your left part where you have your yes. Select it from the beginning to the end.
Left.
That's the last column.
Okay. Yes, I have seen it.
Close the brackets.
Oh, okay. I'm coming, please.
Okay, did it work?
I'm still on it.
All right, so
hello, good afternoon. Sorry to cut in. Is there a formula to go to the extreme end? Because we have over 8,000 yes or no. So I don't know, you did it so fast. How did you go to the end of the table?
Okay, so just select the beginning, press your control and your shift key and then the downward arrow key.
Hold on, let's do it together.
Okay, your control shift key together and then the arrow.
Count A, tab. Then the first letter, control
and shift.
Control
and the shift key. The downward arrow.
Then the down arrow.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I'll just take this count ifs again just one more time so we can move very fast. We have a whole lot to cover today. So count ifs. We are looking at those that have low salary and have also left the organization at the same time. So for me, since I know what my table name is, I just like to just type it this way. I know what I'm doing, salary. You can decide to select each column by column to get what you're trying to do. But if you know your table name, you can use your table name and the name of the column. Please kindly mute your mic. Thank you.
I don't know, which one do you want?
Kindly mute your mic, please. And then people that have left the organization, we are using yes value. You close your bracket and then you end. Sorry, there's something wrong with my formula somewhere. Let me.
No.
Okay, let me check. See where the error is. Please kindly mute your mic. Please kindly mute this person's mic. I don't think she knows her mic is muted. Thank you. So did you get the count ifs that I did again? Let me just put the cursor on it so you can see the formula, how it works. You know, the first one we did was just count if, where we counted the number of people that have left amongst the information we have for those who have left and stayed in the organization all mixed together. The data set we have here is over 14,000, and you cannot start counting one by one. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, and then when you get to know, you skip one and then you count yes. Excel has made it very simple for you. You can use your count A function to know the total number of people in the organization. The next thing, you want to know those that have left the organization. In that case, you can now use your count if function to know those that have left the organization. And this is the function that we used here. This is it here. Count if the column, you select this column, that's the column you want to measure, and then you put in the function. That is the criteria that you are trying to measure. Yes is what we are trying to measure. Yes represent those that have left the organization. And then you type it in here with your columns, and then you close it, you close your bracket, and then you press your enter key, and then you have the answer there. Same thing for those that have not left the organization, and no is used to represent that, and then you have the same thing here. And then we now move the step further by looking at count ifs function. So let's assume we are looking at more than one criteria. We want to know those that have left the organization and those that are on low salary at the same time. So in this case, you will not use a count if function because you're using more than one criteria. You now use a count ifs. Use a count ifs function. Use a count ifs function to get that. And this is it here. We are measuring two criteria at the same time. So 2,777 people have left the organization and they're on low salary band. We'll be going
I have a question.
Very soon. Okay, what's your question, please?
You know how when you're inputting a formula of count if, you just went directly and just insert and just type table 2 before the salary.
Yes, because I already know the name of my table. So let me just show you one without typing the table. So you see that it's the same way. To know the name of your table, just come to your table design here. When you click on your table design, it will tell you what your table name is. The table name of this table is table 2. What's your own table name? Yours might be table 1. I don't know what your table name is at your own end.
So I would like to get to that table design.
click on your data, your table rather, your table. Now that's the data set you have in your table. When you click on it, you go to table design. When you click on your table design, look at your extreme left under your file. You will see table name, that's table 2.
I can't say.
Is there?
My table, I might to click on any part of the table, like on any
Yes,
cell.
you click inside the table. Click any field inside the table. Then your table design will come up.
Okay.
Have you seen the table design? It's a tab. It will come up as a tab after help.
Okay, I can see design.
Yes, so once the table design is up, you click on it. Then look at your extreme left. You will see table name. You see table 2 in the table name. Or the name of your table will be there. You can also change the name if you want to.
Okay, now you're saying, okay, I can, if I click on left, click on that, the header that with the, or the column with the heading name left, it's showing me table 1.
Okay, so that's
so on the
fine.
formula now, on the count if formula, I will let us use table 1 instead.
You can. And then if you don't want to do that, you can just say equals to count. Let me use count if. And then I just come and select this. And then I go all the way down. Once I select the entire thing, you can see it's telling me table 2. Can you see it? It's very simple. The table name and the column name. That is just it. So once you know your table name and you know your column name, instead of you going up and down, dragging up and down, you can just decide to use a table name instead. Sorry, I didn't finish my argument here, sorry. Because I'm using count if function, not the count function. So the count if, I have to put in an argument here to complete it. So can you see that? And I can try to say, okay, since I know my table name, I just put equals to my count if. Once you start typing, it will just pop up the name. You use your brackets and then you select the name of the column. The name of the column is left. You close it, a comma, and then you have your answer. So for me, it's just easier and faster for me, really. I prefer to just type in the table name followed by the column name. And it's still the same thing if you go and drag from the top to the end to select the column you are looking for. You're going to arrive at the same thing. So we're going on break in the next 2 minutes. Do we have any questions? So after this, when we come back from break, we'll be going into the pivot table. This, you can unmute your mic. This 2 minutes that we have before the break, let me just take in your questions. If you need me to go through anything again, let me know so I can just go through it again.
Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it worked, but I'm getting a 0 answer. Like the answer is 0 for the count if for those that have left.
The count if.
Yeah.
Did you use a semicolon? Did you put yours in inverted commas, or they would call it semicolon? I don't know.
Can you like click on that particular so I can see exactly what it did?
This particular one.
The count if.
The count ifs.
No, count if.
If, this is it
here. That's if, yeah.
Yeah.
Count if. Oh, okay.
These functions, yeah, you're welcome. These functions will save you a whole lot of time. Once you know how to use these functions, and that's why I just decided to take functions. Really, function is not part of this class. But when I looked at the distribution of those that are registered and their proficiency level, I just decided to take, 1 or 2 functions. There are a whole lot of functions in Excel. You have the sum function if you want to sum. I want to sum maybe the number of years spent with the company. Yes, you have the sum if too. If you want to sum the total number of people that have left the organization, that's the condition now. I want to sum the total number of people maybe that have left the organization. I want to sum their total satisfaction level. You can also do that. So you can practicalize that, at your spare time at home. It's 3:30 already. We should be going for break now.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
So we'll be going, good afternoon. So we'll be going for our break now. We'll be going for a 10 minutes break and we'll be back by 3:40. So you could please use this medium to stretch out, get a snack, get water, and we'll be back by 3:40. So the section will continue by 3:40. Thank you so much.
He's telling me no. Oh, I wish I can understand this thing. I know. Who has called me? Oh, okay. No wonder called me.
Hello, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me, please. Hello, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me, please.
Can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear.
Hello, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me, please.
We can hear you, ma'am.
Okay. So the break is over. So we'll continue the next now. Titi, please, you can take over. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Welcome back, everyone, from the break. I hope we're able to stretch our feet. And I also use that time to drop the formulas for us in the chat session, so that you can just copy and paste it, and then maybe subsequently, maybe after the class, you can take your time to practice it. Because one thing with Excel is practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better you become in the use of Excel. There are so many functions for you to learn and to know. And once you know these functions, they make your work very easy. Reports that might take you days in doing before, with the formulas, splits of seconds, you're done. So now we'll be moving on to Power Pivot. Kindly drop a yes if you have an idea about how Power Pivot works for data analysis. Kindly drop a yes. And a no if you don't have an idea of how it works. So I will know how to go about it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the feedback. So, and I must kindly drop a yes if you are hearing any background noise from my mic, maybe a sound of air or something. You can. Okay, thank you. It will be adjusted now. All right, thanks. I'm sure that should have stopped by now. Yes, just some wind. I've turned off the wind. Thank you so much, Chinedu. Yes, I guess we should be fine by now. All right. Thank you very much. So, okay, now we are going to the Power Pivot, and it's very easy, trust me. It's used for crunching data, for analyzing data, and you will need it a lot because I know some organizations use Excel and they've not migrated to Power BI yet. So this will be very useful for you in your organization. So what you need to do is you have your table formatted already. Just come to Insert on the tab, click on the Insert, kindly follow my cursor as it's moving. When you click on Insert, you will see an information that says Pivot Table. Select on the Pivot Table, and then a dialog box is going to come up and it will ask you, select a table or a range. Table or range. Remember that my table name is table 2. So on your own end, it should bring up your table name in the table or the range. And then when you come down, to ask you, choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. Do you want it on a new sheet, on the same existing sheet as your data set? Well, I would advise you move it to a new sheet so that you can, to give you a clearer way or a clearer picture of how to analyze your data. So everything will not be modeled up together. You now have your pivot table and also have your data set at the same time on the same page. So you can just say new worksheet, and then it will create a new worksheet for you when you click on OK to the left-hand side. I want to believe we all have this at our end. So this is the pivot table. Kindly drop a yes if you're able to achieve this. Okay, I have a mixture. I have a yes and I have no. Okay, I'll take it again. That's not a problem. But we also have to be very mindful of time so that we can also go into Power BI as well. So I'm going to delete this. Now, just select anywhere within your data sets. That's your table now. Then you go to your Insert tab. Insert is after you have your home. You have File, you have Home, and then you have Insert. And then you click on your Insert tab, and then you see the pivot table. It comes up. Select your pivot table. A dialog box is going to come up containing the information of your table. That's your table name. For me, my table is table 2. And then it will ask you, do you want it to be on a new sheet or you want it to be on an existing sheet? I don't want it to be on the existing sheet where I have my data set. I want it to be on a fresh sheet. So I'm going to click, it's already on the new worksheet. I'll leave it that way. Then I'll come here and click on OK, and then it creates a pivot table for me on a fresh page to the left of my data sets. So I want to believe that we all got this now. So this is it here. This is the pivot table now. So from this pivot table, all those ones that were using functions previously, I will show us how to do that without the use of functions. And it's very easy. When you come to this side, you will see what we call the pivot table fields, which breaks down your information into columns. What you have, that is your employee number, department. If you can remember our data set, this is it here. Employee number, department, work accident, and to the end, and we have left here, is what you have here on this side, the pivot fields. That's what you have here, employee number, department, and so to the end where you have your left. And it's arranged according to each columns that we have. So this is it here. Then here you can see that we have 4 different fields. Like you have 4 different fields. You have the values, you have the column, you have the filters, and you have the rows. Row, as I explained earlier, is the lines that you have cutting across like this, while the columns are these vertical ones that we are seeing here. Then value is what we want to measure, what we want to count is numeric. Anything you're doing in value has to be numeric. Then you have your filter. This is the way you filter, just the way the name implies. When you're trying to filter an information, you're trying to remove one information from the other. Okay, you want to know those that have left and those that have stayed. You can use your filter option to do that. So I'm going to show us how to count our number of employees without using a count function of maybe equals to count that we did previously. So as I said earlier also in the beginning of the class, I said employee number is the number that identifies each employee uniquely. You cannot have 2 employees having the same employee number. It's not possible. Each employee have their own unique employee number, and that's what identifies them in the organization. So I'm going to drag down my employee number here. Just click on it and then drag it down to values, and then I leave it. Can we see what we have? Count of employee number, 14,999. Just the same way we had it in the first time when we were using the count A and the count function. I want to believe we all got this part. All right, thank you. Okay, someone said I should take it again. That's fine, no problem. So this is my pivot table here. All right, thank you for the feedback. This is my pivot table here. So what you need to do, we want to count the number of employees in the organization. And we said that the employee number is the number that uniquely identifies each employee, because no two employees can have the same employee number. Each person has his own employee number and it identifies each one uniquely. So for us to have the correct count of employees in this organization, the right thing to do is to use the employee number to count. And then just drag it and bring it down. Sorry. You click it and then you drag it down to where you have your values. I said values, as the name implies, values. It's for counting. It's numeric function. You want to count, you want to sum, you want to divide, you want to multiply. Everything is done in the values aspect. Then you have your columns. Your columns are the vertical lines that you're seeing. And then the rows are the horizontal ones you're seeing. Filter is used to filter one information. I don't know what other English to use apart from filter, or to segregate or differentiate an information from the other. We'll use the filter and you'll see how the filter works as well. When you see how it works, you have a better understanding of what the filter is. So you can see that we've done our count of employees. We didn't have to say equals to count the way we did the other time, and then we are dragging and putting or using table names. We didn't have to do all that. All we did here was just all right. 1 minute. So I went to check to ensure that I just heard the noise from my data source that I'm using for this class, just to be sure that nothing is wrong with it, that the battery is not low. So we are fine, we're good. So you can see, I want to believe you all got this. And then the next thing we're going to look at also is, we're going to look at getting our yes and our no. That means those that have left and those that have stayed without using the function, just using our pivot table, and we'll get that. So now there are two options of having your pivot table on this page. You can either copy from a previous pivot that you have worked on, just copy this way and you paste on another page. Or better still, you go back to your table, click on your inserts, and then you say pivot table. This is a long process. It will ask you for the location. No, existing sheet. So it will ask you for the location. You go to existing sheet because you have a sheet existing already. Just come there, click on where you want the pivot table to be, and then you just say okay. And then you have your pivots. But for me, I prefer to just copy and paste. It's easier for me than just going back and forth. You can just copy and paste. It's easier that way. And then you just come here, and then you can just remove this field. To remove this count of employee, just click on the arrow. There's one black arrow where my cursor is here. Just click on it, and then you will see remove field. And then you can click on remove. Okay, saying it overlaps. Okay. Let me just leave it. Let me use the new one I brought in. So now I'm still going to pull my employee number down to my values. Then I'm going to go down to where I have my left. Since that's what we want to look at, I'll bring it out to my rows, and then you can see it here. Very simple, easy, fast. No, 10,295, yes, 4,704, which is the same thing that we have on this side. Can we see 4,704 and 10,295 using the functions here? We use the count if function to get this, and then this is what we used here at this point. We use the pivot to get this one. You can see how simple and how easy it is. Please kindly drop a yes if we are all on the same page, so I will know that we are all on the same page. Because by Monday, I want us, after this class, I want us to go back to our offices and go and show them that, see, come, that's report I use days to do. I can do it in minutes now, in seconds now. I want this time to be worth it. Yes, the class is free, but your data is not free. And even your time is not free. You can do something else with your time, but you are part of this class. And I want every one of us to gain something and be better on our duty post after this class. Okay. Thank you. And then we can also go further by bringing in salary. Let's bring in salary to, where is salary? Okay, this salary here. We'll bring it to columns here, and let's see what we have. So can we see? Now we've broken this down. We can see those that are still in the organization that are on high salary, on low salary, and on medium salary. Remember this value that we got when we use the count ifs, where we said we're looking at those that have left and are on low salary. Let's go and check on the previous sheet. Can we see it here? When we're using the count ifs function. So you can see that pivot table makes your life very easy, saves you stress. And this is it here, the same value that we have here. Okay, so I'm just going to remove all these fields again. And then let's look at the count of departments. Yes, let's look at the distribution of employees across the department. Which department even has the highest number of employees first and foremost? I'll bring this down to the rows. That's department now, I'll bring it down to rows. So can we see, this is it here. So you can actually use your count if functions to get this, but you're going to write a very long formula. That means count if, department is accounting, count if department is HR, count if, it's going to be a whole long statement you're going to write, but just look at this. You don't need to write anything. Just drag and drop, and then you have all your information. And then even from here, we can actually plot, we can plot a graph from here. Sorry, the Zoom is interfering with my bar. It's not collapsing, so let me just bring this down a bit. Okay, just a minute. I want to show us how to create a okay. No. 1 minute. Sorry, please. You can use that time to also come up to speed where I am if you're not here yet. Kindly drop a yes if you're on the same page with me. Yes, we are together. This virtual class makes you come up with different kinds of things. All right. Okay, somebody say yes, W. Thank you, Jerry. Moyi. All right, thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm glad we are all together. You can see it's not as difficult as when we're writing functions. It's easy peasy, as my boys will say. Okay, thank you. All right, so we have it here. You can draw a graph with this. Just click, and then you go back to insert, the same inserts we use for the pivot table. And then you see recommended charts here. You click on it. And then it comes up with different kinds of charts that you want that are recommended for you. You can have the line, you can have the pie, you can have the bar, the area, the scatter. The scatter will not work for this. So I would advise you use the column chart, and then you just click on, I like the 3D. Oftentimes, I like 3D. So let me just pick 3D. You can select anyone you want really. And then, okay, can we see our chart here? And then you can modify this by coming here. You can see this chart now, you don't have the values on it. That means you will have to be tracing with your mouse. This is not a good report. So we're going to bring in the values, and all you need to do is to come to this plus sign on the right-hand side, click the plus sign, and then look for the data labels. This is it here, and then you click on data labels. Since you have your data labels, I would advise you remove the grid lines. You can remove the grid lines to make it more presentable. And then you can also remove the axis as well. Remove the vertical axis, which is the y-axis. And then you have this beautiful chart here. You can also remove your legend. No need for legend. You already know that these are just departments. And then you can change this. You can, let me close that. Okay. You can change this to departments. That's the title now. You change it to department. And you have it here. And another beautiful thing about this as well, you can see that department is at the side underneath here where my cursor is. I'm circling the department now, and then I'll go back to it again. Just click on it by the side, and then you can actually filter from here. You can decide to select only accounting, HR, IT, and management department, and you say, okay. And then you have just that. You can filter that way. Instead of using the filter that you have here, you can use this filter here. And then it will show you that, it will show you this filter icon, that this chart is being filtered. And then you can actually go back again and say, okay, you can clear the filter. I don't want filter. I want everything back. And then once you're done, I would advise you just cut this. Okay, open, create a new page. Let's start like this. And then name your new page charts. So you just put all your charts here, and so you can have enough space for your pivots. So you can just cut this normal Control X, the way you have it on your Microsoft Word. The same way, just come here and then Control V, which is, you can't make this change for why? I just want to paste it. Okay, let me go back and find out what the problem is. I should be able to paste. Okay. 1 minute. Let me check what the problem is. All right. Okay, so this is it here. And then you have to be mindful of your charts, because the way you have it here, anything you do here, any addition or subtraction will affect your chart here, because this chart is interacting with the pivot table. So let me show you something now. If I want to break down the department by the total number of people that have left or stayed in the department, I can also do that. So let me look for left. Let me just scroll down from your pivot field. I'll just drag my left to my columns. And then you can see it has broken this down into accounting department, no and yes, those that have left and those that have stayed in accounting department, and then all other departments, you have it there. So let's look at our chart, the way it's going to look like. Can we see the chart now? So we have to be mindful of our charts. So this is what it looks like now. So it has broken it down for us. So I need to bring back my legend now. I'll click this and then click on legend. The legend is the one that explains the color to us. So we can see that the blue is no, those that are still in the organization, and the orange color is yes, those that are not in the organization. And then if we look at this, the sales department actually has the highest number of people that have left the organization, which is 2,164. So you can see how easy it is for us to crunch a data which has 14,999 rows to just a chart. Easy for us to see, visualize, and understand at the same time. So you can see that pivot table makes work very easy for one. So this is it here. You can also come to your design here, where you can pick whatever design that you want, depending on what you're trying to do, depending on your organization or the boss. At times, the boss you're reporting for also determines the kind of chart you present. So you can just select on anyone that you want. This looks very beautiful. Please kindly drop a yes chat this time around, or yes see if you're on the same page, because it's beginning to look as if I'm talking to myself alone. All right, thank you. Okay, I will explain that to you, please. And the person asking, how do we know when to move the various fields? Okay, thank you for that. So I'm just going to copy this, my lazy way. Well, I won't call it a lazy way, just a way of working fast instead of going back and forth to go and be doing insert pivot and stuff like that. So, okay. Anna, please, if you are where you can unmute your mic, if it's not noisy, please unmute yourself. Let's know where you are. If it is Uber, I can send Uber to come and pick you to where we are at the moment.
I'm currently at the pivot chart. My challenge is whenever I want to do a new value for each section, it goes off on my screen. Like I have to do it one at a time. It's not displaying on your screen that multiple figures are showing.
As in, it's not displaying the way you have it here, right in front of me, as in what we are seeing.
Yeah. Yes, really? I'm having same results, but I can't have multiple figures. It's a figure at a time I'm having on my screen.
Really?
Yes, so that's the reason why I couldn't proceed with this thing. I don't know if I don't know if I need to enter any function to make all the figures stay together.
No functions here, really. Are you sure you have the things rightly placed, your columns, your rows, and your values?
Yes, I do. Like what I have currently here is the department. So if, for example, I want to do for number of employees, that of the department will disappear on my screen for the number of employees to show.
Are you sure it's not you didn't put your department under filters? Is it under rows?
No, it's not being filtered.
Okay, is it under your rows? Is your department under your rows?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you know what? Let me stop sharing my screen. Let's use 5 minutes to look at that. Please share your screen. Or are you using your phone?
No, I'm using my laptop for this thing, but I'm using my phone for my Zoom.
For your Zoom. Okay. Can we catch up after this class?
Yes, sure, we can.
Yeah, that's fine, no problem. So let me share my screen again.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so someone asked a question about how do you know what fields to drop in either columns, rows, or filter. Now it depends on the way on what you're trying to analyze. Values automatically is a count function, as in it's what we call the aggregate function. And aggregate functions are arithmetic functions, your count, your sum, your division, your multiplication, anything that has to do with arithmetic functions, the way we had it when we were in secondary school or higher institution, is what your values does. And then your rows is the horizontal lines that are passing through. So now in this part, this point, I'm going to start all over again. I'm going to bring in an information to the row. So you see the way it's going to appear. Let me bring left to the rows. And then I'll also put it in the columns so you understand. So let me put it in the rows. You can see the way it's appearing now. It's on the rows. You have your information on the row labels on the left, and then you have your values on the right. So we're trying to count the number of employees that fall under each of this category of no or yes. Now, if I remove this left and I put it under columns, you're going to see the way it's going to appear. It's going to appear in column format. Can we see? You have your no, and then you have your yes in column, in the vertical lines, the vertical columns. Unlike when we had it in the row format. Let me take it to rows and then we can see the difference. Can we see? And then for filter, for example, now if I want to filter this information I have here, this department by those that have left or stayed, all I need to do is just to bring down my left field. I drop it in my filters. So I'll just drag this and drop it in filters. And then you see it appear on top of it here. Can you see it here? And then you can select here and say, okay, I want only no. Let me click on this select multiple. So okay, I want only no. Okay. So the information to be giving you here is for all those that are still in the organization. Can you see the total number? 10,295, which is what we have as no here. Okay, I guess I've deleted that. Okay. 1 minute. Let me just quickly create so we can see it properly. Let me go back to left and bring it down. Okay, 1 minute. So can we see here? No, you have 10,295. If you look at what we have filtered here too, we have 10,295. So under each department, these are the various, these are the total number of people that are still in the organization. And I can also decide to do it by no, and by yes rather, that's those that have left the organization. And I click OK. So this is how filter works. And then I have the total number of people that have left the organization. So this is how the filter function basically works. And then for rows and columns, it just depends on the orientation of how you want your visuals to appear or your table to be displayed. I don't know if I was able to answer your question. Please confirm if I was able to answer your question. All right, so thank you so much. This all will be taken for the Excel session. I'll be moving on to Power BI now. You can see that this has changed. Remember, I told us that we should be mindful of what we are doing. It's because of the, you know, when I was trying to explain to, sorry, I didn't pick your name. I'm so sorry about that. When I was trying to explain to the person who asked for clarification on the difference, on how you drag and drop in these different fields, you can see that everything has changed. So what we have here is showing us people that have stayed back in the organization, also, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check it here. Okay, yes, people that stayed back. That's what you have here on this chart now. I can decide to clear the filter from here as well. You can try to have everything together, and then I click on my OK, and then we have everything here again. So that's just it. So that is that for analysis on Excel. So we're going to Power BI now. I want to believe that we all have our Power BI powered up already. If you have your Power BI on, please kindly say yes, yes, BI. I have my BI on. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. So we'll go on to Power BI now. We have less than an hour to go. So this is the beautiful Power BI here. So we're going to get our data in now from our Excel. I hope that we all know where we saved our Excel sheet. So all we need to do is just to come to get data. You go to Excel. And then it takes you to where you have it saved. And then you can click on it. To just take a few seconds to about less than a minute to connect. Okay, so this is it here. So you can see that we have two details here. We have table 2 and we have sheet 2. Can anybody just tell us why we have table 2 and we have sheet 2? Which are we supposed to select? Are we supposed to select table 2 or supposed to select sheet 2? Please, you can unmute your mic if your vicinity is not noisy.
So I'm supposed to select table 2.
Okay, why are we selecting table 2?
That's where our main data is. The sheet 2 is where we have worked on Excel from table 2 itself.
Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. And if you select sheet 2, all those count functions that we did on sheet 2 by the side is going to come into Power BI. And you know that we don't need those functions. What we need is just a table. So we'll be selecting on table 2. Thank you so much. So we select on table 2, and then you can see a snapshot of what your data looks like on Excel. This is it here. You have load and you have transform data. Now, transform data is used for data cleaning, basically data cleaning and stuff like that. But for today's class, we can't go to transform data because transform data on its own is like another class. It works the way Power Query works, and it's not something that we're going to cover in this class at all. Because even this data is clean already, it's been cleaned, it's been sorted, we don't have any issues with the data at all. So we're not going to transform data in this class, we are going to load data. So it's going to load it. When you click on load, it will load your data directly to Power BI. It will just take less than a minute as well to load. Let's just give it a few minutes to load.
Good afternoon. I'm lost. I'm sorry.
Okay, where are you? Are you in Lekki, Ajah, Ikoyi, so that I can just come and pick you from there? Where are you in particular? So I can know where to start from.
Okay, so how do you get, so I'm on Power BI, but it's showing me import data from Excel, import
so
data, that's
no,
the icon.
Click on the Excel. Click on the Excel because Excel is where your data is. So click on that Excel icon. Yes. Then go to where you saved your data. Is it on your desktop? Is it on your local C drive?
Desktop.
So just select it on your desktop. Yes, select it. When you do, you will get to a dialog box.
Dialog box.
Yes, that will show you either to load or to transform.
Sorry, is it on Power BI or on my desktop?
Yes, on Power BI.
Okay,
so when I click on this Excel, yes, when I click on this, okay, so are we together now?
So, yeah,
click on load.
It's saying open.
No, it won't say open. Okay, this one, yeah, you can click on the open now. No, you're still on Excel, you're not in Power BI yet. So just double click it. Instead of clicking on open, just double click your Excel.
Okay, double click.
And then you have this dialog box navigator that on that you have table 2 and you have sheet 2. So you select the table 2 because it's the table we are working on and not the sheet. If you select the sheet, all those functions we are practicing on the side will be imported to Power BI and you don't need it. It's going to distort your information. So once you're done, this is a snapshot of what you have or what your data looks like on Excel. You click on load. I won't be clicking on load because I've loaded my data already. If I click on load, it's going to load it again the second time. All right. Beautiful.
Got it.
Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's happening to my Power BI? Just 1 minute. Okay. So you can see these fields, when I was explaining Power BI initially, this field was empty. It wasn't showing anything. And you can see that now we have average monthly hours. We have the department, employee number, last evaluation, left number of projects worked on, promotion, salary, satisfaction, work accident, years with the company. We have it now in our field. Then also when we come to this part where we have the data, you will see that you have 1 minute. I was supposed to click on something then, 1 minute. Ensure that you have your mouse clicked on any of the fields. Once you have it on any of the fields, then you can come to your, yes, then you have the details here. You can see that it is what we have on Excel that has been moved to Power BI here. Just exactly the same way we have it on Excel. This is it here, this is your data. So we'll go back to the reports. This reports view is where your visualization is going to show. And then you will notice that the fields that we have here is a bit different from what we have on Excel. On Excel, everything was arranged according to the way the columns were arranged in the data set, that's on the table. But in Power BI, it's arranged alphabetically. You can see average number, department, employee number, last evaluation, left, and stuff. On the other side, when we're using Excel, left was actually the last one because left is the last column on the table. But in Power BI, it arranges your columns alphabetically. That's your field now. So now that we're here, we'll now look at the visualizations. These are the visualizations that we have here, the different types that we can use. So I'll be using the card visual first. We can't cover all the visualization that we have in this class, but I'll just show us a few to set us rolling, in our journey in the field of data analysis using Power BI. So we'll be using the card visual. So I'll just click on this card visual, and then you see it appear on the reports page. This is it here, but it is blank. It is blank because I've not moved any data or information to it yet. And this card visual is used to visualize a single information. So if I'm looking for the count of employees, the sum of an information, maybe the products, that's the multiplication, that's product of two values together, or the division of two values together, that is what you will have here. You cannot have more than one information on this page. So for this card visual now, we're going to look at the total number of employees in this organization using our card visual. And what we're going to use is the employee number. So all we need to do is just to come to our field here, and then we click on the employee number. Then it will take some time to roll. Okay, let's look at it now. What we have here is showing first employee number. We are not looking for the first employee number. What we need is the count of employees. So you can just come back to where you have your fields here. Kindly follow my cursor. You can see it popping up, the fields, and then you click on this part where you have your first employee number, the arrow there, you click on it, and then you select count. Once you select count, it will give you the count. And look at what we have here. It's showing us 15,000. Now, I don't like using this figure like this because Power BI has what we call the intelligence, that it assumes something for you at times, and most times that assumption is not right. Now, Power BI has approximated our values for us. We know that from Excel, the total number of employees that we have is 14,999. But Power BI has approximated it for us, but that's not an issue. You can actually go back to have your actual number by coming to this icon here that looks like a paintbrush. You can see its format. You just click on it, and then you click on your data label. This value you are seeing here is called the data label. So you click on the data label, and they can just scroll. So display units, you can see it's auto. I don't want it to be on auto. I want it to be none. Give me my value the way it is. Don't approximate for me. And then you have your exact value. Can we see this? So this is it here as your total number of employees that you have. Let me drag it to the middle so we can all see it properly. So under this label, this data label, you can change your the color of your data. Is black now. You can change it and say, oh, I don't want it to be black. I'm working with a particular color. The color of my organization is purple, so I want it to be purple because that's the color I want to work with. I want my presentation to rhyme. Sorry, this is blue. purple. I want purple. I don't know why it's not selecting purple. Maybe it wants me to use blue. Okay, I go with blue. So you can see that I've changed the color. You can also increase the font size. If it is too tiny for you, you can increase it. You come to text size, all under data label. All right. You can also change the font type as well. That's under font family. Let me change it to Arial Black. So we can see that has changed. So that's that for data label. As you work on it daily or you practicalize on it, you become very good with all the different kinds of tools that we have. This is the category. The category is the title you have underneath here, count of employee number. You can turn it off if you want. But if you turn it off, anybody looking at your visual might not know what this figure is. 14,999. Only you who worked on the data might know that, oh, this is the total number of employees. So you can just leave it on by turning it on. You can also change the color and the font size as well. The same way you did. Let me use, but that's the red color. You can also increase the font size. Let me make this 18. But we have to be very careful with the use of colors. It's because we're in class and I'm just trying to show us the different tools that we have under Power BI. That's why I'm using all these colors. It's not advisable to have so much colors in your presentation because colors also tell stories as well. So when you splash so many colors in your visuals, it might become meaningless or might not be able to pass across the main information that you need to pass across in your visual. So we have to be careful with the use of colors. If I'm going to work on a presentation, I won't use this color. Having blue and having red, I won't use it in my visualization, except I want to draw the attention of the person to the count of employee numbers. Then I can use a red color or a sharp color that once the person opens the visuals, what the person is saying is, oh, in this organization, wow, we have 14,999 employees. Then maybe I'm drawing the person's attention to it. But in a normal day, I won't use this kind of color for presentation. But it's just because for the sake of the class, just for us to see the different tools that we have. So now the next tool we're going to be using is, we'll look at the use of how to use pie charts. Okay, before I go to that, let me show us one more thing that you can do under your format. I hope we're all together, please. Ma? I can't hear you.
Yes, Moye, can you hear me? Yes, Moye,
okay.
Okay, yeah, your screen showing 14,999.
Okay.
When I typed in my own formula, it's just bringing out, maybe I can share my screen with you so you
no, don't
can
worry, just
see.
tell me what, it's bringing out employee number, right?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
All right, that's beautiful. We actually, I showed us how to remove that. Okay, let me just quickly show us that. Let me go back. But time is really running fast. Let me just quickly show that. So this is it here.
That's the only thing I didn't get. I got everything after that.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, just click on the card visual, click on employee number. When you do that, you will have, sorry, 1 minute. All right, you will have first employee number showing under your fields. Look at where my cursor is. First employee number. Now click on that arrow beside it and then click on count. When you click on count, then it will count it for you. But it's going to approximate it because it has this intelligence.
All right. Thank you. Right. I can zoom it because it's looking very small.
You can zoom it. You can increase the font size if you want.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yes, you can do that. All right, you're welcome. All right, thank you. So you can also, for this, before I move to the pie chart, for this, you can also put a border. If you want to have a border line, let's scroll down. It's here, just click on the border, turn it on. Please mute your mic, thank you. So this is it here. You can see that now it now has a border. Unlike before that it just appeared, blank like that on the page. You can also put a shadow effect if you want. All these are just designed depending on what you want to present. Okay, there's a shadow effect too you can put. Just scroll down. Where's the okay? Under your border, just scroll down. 1 minute. Oh, okay. Sorry, this is the older version. Sorry, that's why I didn't want to use this laptop. I didn't know the other one was going to mess up. But check yours. You should have shadow at your end. If you have, just click on it. You will see it's going to have like a shadow effect just by the side. To just show a blurry effect like a shadow by the side. All right, so let's just move on. Now I'm going to click on the pie chart here. This is it here. And we're going to use that to analyze the total number of people that have left or stayed in the organization. So I will expand this so we can all see it properly. And then we're still going to use our employee number. We're going to drag it. So now if you look at this, we now have legend, we have details, and we have values. And we have two tips. So what we are counting is going to be in our values, which is employee number. So we're going to drag employee number down to our values. And then now we have our employee number. By what are we counting it? By total number of people that have stayed and left. And that is what we're going to move to our legend. Legend is used for categorizing, breaking down information. So once we break down this left into the different categories that we have, and on that left, we have two categories. We have yes and we have no. So we'll pull this into the legend part. And this is it here. I'm going to increase the font size so we can see it properly. The same way we did for the card visual, just the same way under data labels, the same thing.
Please take again.
You said? Sorry, I didn't hear you. All right, I will, sure, no problem. Okay, so let me just minimize this. I need to be very fast now. We're running out of time. So you click on the pie chart. That's the visual we want to use. And when you click on the pie chart, what are we trying to do? We want to see the two categories that we have on that left, which is yes or no. That is the turnover. I want to look at the turnover rate in the organization. So this is it here. What we're counting is the employee number, because we said employee number is the count of employees. It's unique to each employee. No single individual, no two employees can have the same employee number. So we move this to our values. Values is used for aggregate function, summation, multiplication, division, whatever you want to do that has to do with arithmetic function. You use your values for it. Now your legend is used for categorization. So when you have more than one information and you want to break it down into the different categories that you have, to use your legend. So our left, we have two categories. We have yes and we have no. Those that have left and those that have stayed. So you move your left, you bring it down to your legend here. And then it's going to break down this employee number that you have into those that have left and those that have stayed in the organization.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Then you can also increase the font, because I can see that the font size is tiny. For those who are using their phone, they might not see this properly. So you can do that under your data labels. The same way you did for the card visuals, you can do that here as well under your data labels. So you just drop this down. And then you scroll down to where you have the font size. That's the text size now. Let me make this 18. So we can see that we have it here. And you can also determine the information to display. When you come here, that's the label style. Do you want the data value and percentage of total, or you want all the information? So let's click on all data labels. and then we'll see what we have. So you can see you have yes, you have the percentage, 31.36% of the total number of people in the organization have left the organization, while we have only 68% people still in the organization. And I want to ask, is this an acceptable rate? 31.3% of an organization's workforce resigned in a space of, let's say, 3 months. Is this figure acceptable, or is there truly an issue with the organization itself? You can unmute your mic if you want to contribute to it.
No, please, how did you get the percentage? I didn't get that.
Okay, it's here. It's under the label style. You can choose which one you want. Do you want all the data labels to show? Do you want your data value and percentage of total? Do you want category and percentage of total? Just select it under your data labels. So let me close it. Where you have your paint brush, that's this format, the format tool here that looks like a painter's brush. Come to where you have your data labels. You drop it down, and then you see the data label style. See it here. This is the data label style. So you can select all, and you can select data value and the percentage. You can see it here. That's what we have now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I was asking that, is this value an acceptable value for us to have in a space of 3 months?
No.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
It's not. So let me also remove the auto here and make this none, so we can have the actual value and not approximated values. Okay, so this is beautiful. Let me delete this first one I did. And then we can also look at departments as well here, the distribution of staffs in department, just the same way we did in Excel. And then I'm going to select this, which is the clustered column charts. I'm going to click on this. And when you do this, you move your employee number to your values. And then you move your department now to your axis. I don't know if you can all remember our axis while we were in secondary school when we were learning how to plot graphs. You have the y-axis and you have the x-axis. It's just the same thing that you have here as well. Then you have your legend here. You can actually break this information down into different categories. So let's break salary down. Let's break department down by salary. So let me move salary here. We have 3 categories under salary: low, medium, and high. I'll bring it down to my legend here, and then we'll see it broken down. Can we see? Let me reduce this and make it bigger to have more emphasis on the one I'm working on. So you can also bring in your data labels. You can turn it on. It's actually off now, so I'm turning it on. You can increase the size of the font if you want. You can also increase the size of the department. You can change the color. The same way you did to your data, to your card visual, you have the same functionality here as well. You can see data color. You can change the data color. If you don't want it to be in light blue, dark blue, and orange color, you can change it to whatever color that you want under data color. You can see it here. So whatever color that you want. Let me change the blue maybe to a gray color. Let's see. You can see the color has changed. You can also change the red color as well, the orange color. So let me see. Let me use this blue color. Okay, it didn't change. Maybe I didn't click on it well. Okay, so you can see it here. I've changed the color.
Sorry, Ma, how did you get the numbers to show on each of the chart lines?
Okay, I will show you that shortly. You come to your data labels. Let me turn it off. Can you see where my cursor is? If you check yours, it's off. That's why it's not showing. You can turn it on and off. So let me turn it on again. So it's on. Then, kindly mute your mic, please. You can change the color of your data labels as well. You can increase the size. Let me increase this to, let's say, 14. So usually for me, once I have my data labels, I really don't see a need for this. That is the y-axis now. I don't see a need for this vertical axis. This number here, I don't need it since I have my data labels on it. So you can actually turn it off. That's it there.
Sorry, please, how did you get the 3D?
How did I get the
3D diagram?
So this is a 3G diagram. We actually broke down the information that we have. You know, we first created departments. Then after we finished with the departments, we categorized it by those that are earning high, low, and medium salary. Okay, how I got it? Okay, I'll show it to you shortly now. 1 minute.
Okay.
I want to increase the legend. The legend is this information you have, the salary, showing you the different color scale for you to know which is high and which is low. So I want to increase the size so we can see it properly. Let me make this 14 as well. Okay, that is it. So let me go back to answer your question quickly. It's under this part where you have your fields. You see under, when we clicked on the bar chart, it brought up this information, axis, legend, and values. Value will always be what you're trying to count, which is our count of employee. Department is your axis. That is the information you want to display. And then your legend is what you're trying to categorize. If I remove this now, let me close it. You can see what we have. We have just department alone. Now, we want to break down our departments by, we want to see the salary scale. Let's even see which department do we have people that are earning the highest and people that are earning the lowest salary scale. So I brought my salary from this field and I dropped it in legend. Can you see it? So you can see that under sales department, you actually have more people, 2,099 people that are earning low salary. And yes, low salary, 2,099 people earning low. And majority of the people in the department are actually earning low salary. You can see that the blue bar, which represents the low, that's a darker shade of blue, now we represent the low, is you have it higher in virtually all the departments, except your management and HR departments, where you don't have it higher there. It's lower, you have just 180. And then for those earning high salary, you have 225 under management. So these are a few things that you can do on Excel, on a Power BI. You can also remove the salary and say, okay, let me even see by those that have left and stayed, because it also has its own categories too. It has 2 categories. So you can just drag it and bring it to the legend here, the way you have. Okay, sorry, you didn't drag. Okay, let me drag and drop. All right, can you see it here? So you can see that this sales department, there's something wrong with the sales department, if I may say. We have more people that have left the sales department. Even though if you are looking at it, well, in terms of volume, you actually have more people in the sales department as well, but you have more people to also live in the sales department. Please, do we have any questions? You can please unmute your mic if you want to ask me any questions, if you need any clarification. We have less than 16 minutes to go in the class. Okay, don't worry, Alini, you're going to have access to the recording. I'm sorry about that. You have access to the recording after the class. And you can also reach out to me privately if you need assistance. Okay, hi, good afternoon.
Sorry, ma. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. I can hear you.
Yeah. I think let me go first. I think I downloaded maybe the version.
You said
on that on the legend. On the legend, where I'm supposed to get legend, I want to show in a different thing
entirely. Are you? Did you select this chart, the same chart with us? Is the 4th one here? Is that what you selected? If you selected column chart, you should have legend.
Yes, is the first one? It's the first one. I'm having
This first
values
one.
drilled through. Instead of going to have axis, legend, and value, I'm having just values and drilled through.
Actually, you didn't select this.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
That's one. Yeah, it's the first. Yes.
Okay, this is it here now. Drill through, but before drill through, at the top here, you should have your axis, your legend, your value, two tips, drill through. Is that what you have now?
No, legend is not showing at all. Maybe.
Are you sure you selected the bar chart and the column chart rather?
Yeah. Yes.
Column chart. Okay. Please, after this class, you can please.
Okay, how am I supposed to wait? I'm supposed to select the column chart before clicking on it.
Yes.
Let's just continue. I'm getting.
Okay, let me do another one again. All right, let me check the column chart again, just within 2-3 minutes. Select on the column chart this way, and then it's going to appear. When you want to select on the column chart, ensure that you are not selecting any other information.
Please, Ma, where did you click to get the column chart again?
Okay, just a minute, please. All right, let me delete it. This is it here, under your visualization. You have your bar chart, you have the column, the clustered bar chart, and then the clustered column chart. You click on this, and then you have it here. This is it here. Now let's use something else. Let's use salary. So let me bring employee number will be my values. I'm trying to count the number of employees by the salary categories that we have. So let me move salary. Where's my salary? To my axis. And then let me get my data labels. Let's see the total number of people earning low and high. Let me turn my data labels on. Okay, this is it here. Okay, let me open a new page. For you to open a new page so you can see what I'm doing, just click on the plus sign by the side here. That's how to open a new page. So I'm going to copy this, or you can cut it if you want. Your normal Control-C, Control-X, and then Control-V, you paste. You can also use your functions that you use on your Microsoft Word and Excel in Power BI. Remember, it is powered by Microsoft also. So you can use your Control-X, Control-C, Control-V also here. So this is it. This is the salary scale here. I want to increase the font size of the label so that we can see it properly for those who are using phone to work. So let me make this 14. And then I'll change it from auto to give me the exact number that I have. I don't want it on auto display. None. Just click on none. This is it here. So we can see that we have more people earning low salary in this organization. So is it possible that we have lots of people under the low salary band? Is that why people are leaving? Is there a need for this organization to do a comparative analysis of their salary with other organizations that they do similar things? So let's assume it's a bank now, let's say X bank. And in X bank, as an entry staff, they're paying them 80,000. And in Y bank, entry staffs are collecting, let's say, 250,000 naira. Obviously, people will move from X bank that is paying 80,000 naira to where they are paying, high salary. So there's a need for management to sit down and look at their salary scale in comparison with other organizations, doing the same thing with them to check if their salary is actually low or is just on the average for the organization. So by the time you begin to drill down this data set, you begin to gather so many insights. We've not even looked at accidents. Is it that these people are having so much accidents on a daily basis that they are leaving the organization? So there's so many things to look at. We can actually break this down into categories as well. We can bring this left into the legend. Let's even see. Oh, can you see now that under low salary, you have more people that have left the organization? We have 2,777 people that have left the organization. Remember this value that we got when we were working on our Excel, where we use a count ifs function. So you can see how we just got this. Just click of a button in Excel. There was no need in Power BI. There was no need for any function. Also, let me check if I still have my functions. If I've not, look at it here. Can you see it's 2,777? We're counting those that had salary and low salary and those that have left the organization. Look at it here, and that's the same thing you're having, you know, on Power BI here. So it's just as simple as that. And then you can also see that also here, medium, we have 1,845 people that have left. And then if you look at those that are earning high, just 82 people have left. And if you drill down, it's possible 82 people just left maybe because they've stayed so long in the organization, or they're just tired of the job and they just feel, oh, let me leave the organization. So there are so many insights in this data set. And I would just advise and encourage us that when we get home, we should just keep practicing on this data set. On the WhatsApp group, please feel free anytime to reach out to me for any assistance that you need. If I don't respond to you immediately, I will definitely respond to you much later. Probably maybe I'm busy at work or something, but I will sure respond to you at the end of the day. So we've come to the end of today's class. I hope you found the class very, very insightful. This is 4:51 already. We have less than 9 minutes to go. The class is to end by 5 o'clock. So I want to believe that we all found this very interesting. If you found the class very educative, very informative, please drop a yes. And if no, please feel free to drop a no. So I can go and work on myself very well. I'll go to Harvard. I'm going to learn how to lecture very well. Don't mind me. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. So I'm just going to show us a finished presentation, you know, of this data set. So you can see what it looks like at the end of the day. And this is it here. This is the one I completed. You can see it's very beautiful, very informative. And management can actually see at a glance the total number of employees in the organization. They can see the departments. They can see the salary distribution, the work accidents. In this organization, 2,169 people had accidents. And it's possible that's why they're even living, because how can 2,169 people in an organization have accidents in the space of 3 months? And then you can see this is for promotion, people that were promoted. In this organization, only 319 people were promoted within the last 5 years. So something might be wrong with the appraisal system that they need to look into. You see, we have 14,000 plus people that have not been promoted. And then if you look at this, people that have left as well, we have over 30% of the workforce, you know, leaving the organization. So there are so many insights in this data set that we can gather. And then this data set interact with each other. If I click on sales, everything will change to information regarding to sales. Can we see? So in sales, we have 4,140 people in sales, and then every other information too has adjusted to that of sales. And when I click on the sales bar, everything comes up again. And then these are called sliders. These are all the things that you'll be learning in the main class when you enroll for the HR analytics class. As I said earlier, we can't take everything in the master's class. Master's class is just an introductory class to set your foot, you know, on the path to becoming an HR analytics guru, you know, at the end of the day. So this is just an introductory class, you know, to whet your appetite, to get you set and, you know, prepared for the main class that we'll be having on HR analytics. This is also another slide here. It's still the same information, but different formats. It is presented in different formats. And this is also another one here. Same information presented in different formats. You can see my sliders. These are called sliders. They are also used for filtering. If I want to know the number of people that have spent 2 years in the organization, I'll just drag this ball and I bring it this way. And then the information is adjusted to give me people that have spent only 2 years in the organization. So we have 3,244 people that have spent just 2 years in this organization. And then I can also put it back to see people that have spent 10 years in the organization as well. I put it this way. So you can see that all the people that have spent 10 years in the organization are still in the organization. If you look at left, we have no. They are enjoying the organization, so they are still there. So there are so many insights you can gather from this data sets. You can also look at people that are overworked. Let me drag from, this is the average monthly hours. People that have spent 310 hours on the average every month. Let's see. Can you see? They've all left. And they're in the HR department. They have the highest number. So I can guess why we have this in the HR department. Probably because as people are leaving, HR will be doing so much work. They'll be doing exit interview. They'll be doing recruitment. These guys are being overworked in the HR department because people keep leaving the organization. So as you can see, we have HR having the highest number of people who are overworked in the organization. And I'm sure that we all know the reasons why HR is overworked. An organization that has a high turnover will definitely have its HR being overworked because they will have to do lots of exit interviews. They will have to do lots of recruitment process and stuff like that. So there's just a whole lot that you can gather from these data sets. You can just take your time to go through it. I'm at your beck and call anytime. You can call me, you can reach out to me. And let me just show you one last thing before we go. Let me see 1 minute. I hope I have it close by. There's a finished work of a data set on Excel. Let me just quickly open it up and see. This shouldn't take your time, 1 minute. So you can see what you'll be learning in the Excel class as well. This is the Excel. This is a finished work on Excel. Can you see how beautiful it looks? This is it here. And it's so simple. We'll teach you how to use hyperlink. Just click on demography and then the page will change. I don't have to click on the tab. When I click on view rating, it takes me back to view rating. It's as simple as ABC. You also have your slicers by the side here. So in case you don't have Power BI yet in your office, it's not yet deployed, you also learn how to use Excel to analyze your data and also present it in this beautiful format that I have right in front of me. Let me also show you a few work that's been done by past students of the HR analytics class. This was done by one of our students, beautifully done by one of the students. Let me show us another slide. This is another dashboard here that was done by another student. This is another one. This is one of the assignments for the classes after the Excel class that was given, and this is what the students were able to come up with after the class. You see these beautiful visuals. And this is another one as well. So we have come to the end of the class. Thank you so much for being a part of this class. I'm glad to have you in this class, and I'm honored to have, as I said earlier, the men of timber and caliber in the HR professional in this class with me today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Over to you, Oluwakemi Lawal.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Madam Titi. My name is Akim, Operation Associate at Dataleum. I must say this has been an amazing 3 hours so far. I'm sure all of us enjoyed the 3 hours, and it has been 3 hours of learning, unlearning, learning and relearning. And as we said, Dataleum, the masterclass may be free, but your data and your time is not free. We appreciate you for spending these 3 hours with us, and we are so happy hosting you for these 3 hours. But before we go, we have a tip on the icing on the cake. We want to introduce to you one of our alumni who are taking our class, and she's going to be sharing her experience and the skills she has learned, how it has impacted in her workplace, and overall how it has positioned herself for a big career in the HR world. So, and her name is Miss Udwak Budaga. She's an experienced HR professional with over 10 years experience, and 8 of these 10 years has been within the oil and gas industry. She is known for her excellence in delivery of human resource strategy, its design and implementation to create an environment where management and employees can achieve desired goals of performance, profitability, and growth. She holds a master's degree of business, that is an MBA in general management from Nigeria's Lagos Business School, and a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the prestigious University of Lagos. She's a professional in HR. She's an associate member of Starter Institute of Personal Management, and she has an SPHRI certification. She has recently joined Promacedo as the senior HR business partner. She spent a lot of her time reading and has a drive for coaching, mentoring, and sponsoring young adults. So you believe me, we have among us one of the best in the field and a professional in the field of HR. Miss Udwak, over to you, ma. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Hakim. Thank you so much. Very interesting introduction. I would like to start to say thank you to Titi. Is she still here? Hello?
Yes, I'm still here, Udwak. Hi, good evening.
Okay, thank you so much. Amazing session. I've been part of the session since 2 p.m.
Wow, I didn't know. Thank you.
Yes. So I hope everyone can hear me. If you can put a hi there in the chat, so I know everyone can hear me. I would like to say thank you very much to Dataleum. It's my story actually starts with Titi. I'm glad she's here. I was so surprised when I saw her taking this course today. I know she has been taking courses. Sometime in 2019, anytime I tried to, I was still a middle level HR professional. Anytime I tried to implement stuff, there was always pushback. Why should we do it? We've done it before. It didn't work. And I started asking, what can I do? And on my team, we had very strong HR professionals who were very good with Excel, but it was just what they were doing. I wasn't that good. I saw Titi posting a lot of things on LinkedIn, and I reached out to her. She was like, oh, reach out to them. Coincidentally, that month, there was a session going, a fiscal session. This was before the new normal going on in Yaba. And I just went, and it was shocking. I thought I knew Excel until I got there. I found a better way to utilize Excel. After my session, I came back the next weekend. The first weekend was for Excel. The next weekend was for Power BI. And unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the facilitator, but he was amazing. Hope you don't mind if I share my screen. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just keep speaking while we get there. So I got back to the office and I was so excited. I was thinking about all the things I was going to do, what I was going to do. And I started talking to my colleagues and everybody was looking at me as if I came from the sky. That was lesson number one for me. You need to get buy-in. You need to get people on the same page with you. Yes, I'm sure you're pretty excited about all the things that you've learned now, what you're going to do with it. But very important, what you're doing is trying to change something in your organization if it's not something you're doing yet. If you want to change the current reporting structure you have, then you need buy-in. I was so excited. I started doing stuff and sharing with people. Luckily, I was able to download Power BI on my system, but nobody could use it. Then, of course, since I was still learning, I was making mistakes. Sometimes I get to a place I couldn't tell why something changed. That was I'm telling my story so someone can learn from it and see what they can do with it. I realized that I couldn't, sorry. I realized that no one understood where I was coming from, where I was going to, and I couldn't defend myself. Then I started talking to people outside the organization, doing research, and I found out that where is my company at the moment and what is important to them. And this is where we are looking at HR analytics maturity levels. At that point, we're barely doing dashboards properly. We had some reports, but it was not in the dashboard format. We're doing transactional HR. We're still trying to improve our processes. We're in the operational level. And I was talking about linking things that people could not see, and I slowed down. I decided to improve my capability so that I don't start a presentation that gets stuck somewhere and start saying, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that. And of course, there are people that don't like change. They're like, no, it's too much. After the first pushback I got, I started using it to improve my own work personally. I started building dashboards for myself where I could use and make easy decisions. If someone asked me for something that maybe would have taken me 3-4 hours to put together, I already have it. I just press one button and I have the answers. First thing I did was, after the pushback was, where are we? How can I help my organization now? After that, I started thinking about how can I help my organization strategically? I started doing courses about HR strategy, and the things I'm doing every day, the activities I'm doing, recruitment, pay, industrial relations, how does it impact the organization? It was okay for recruitment. How can we get better in recruitment? If we recruit the right people, definitely we'll have people that are performing better. We'll have higher competency levels. If we recruit the right people, we have the right people in the right places, and they are not stressed. That means they are not sick. So absenteeism is reduced. If you link all of these things, you see it adds to a lot of organizational objectives, which is higher productivity, which is lower turnover. If people are more productive, of course, the company is more profitable. I sat down and was thinking, okay, what can I do? What the things I'm doing on a daily basis, how can I measure it? If we are not measuring it properly, then if I can now measure it, how can I make sure we are more efficient? Then if we're efficient, then we're now looking at effectiveness. Then how can we be more effective? Then how can we make impact? This wasn't a 1 month, 2 month. It took a lot of trial and error on my side, me reading, reaching out to people outside my organization, try to build a business case that I can sell to my manager. Let's do this. Sometimes I started doing something without even telling him what exactly I was doing. I started looking for data in the past. I realized that we had data, but because we're not tracking it properly, I had to start putting data together. And I'm sure you know, putting data together, cleaning it up, making sure it's clean. It's not a 1 day's job. It was not in my KPI. I couldn't take time off my normal work to do it. So it took me some time. I sat down, I put the data together and started trying to tell a story. It's nice enough for you want to tell a story, but the story has to be relevant. Does your boss want to know? Is that what your boss wants to focus on? In telling a story, you need to choose which story to tell. Your story has to be aligned with the business, especially for when you're just starting. It has to be easily solvable also. So there are some things that are nice to have. There are some things that are irrelevant. There are some things that just headache. It can take like a couple of months to solve. There are some things that just push, boom, you're gone. The best things I found that worked for me were the low-hanging fruits. So the people we employ, one of the projects I worked on was, okay, who are the best people we should recruit? Where are they coming from? How are they performing after 1 or 2 years? Which companies shouldn't we hire from? Who are the trend? The people that have left in the first 1 or 2 years of employment, what have they left? I drilled down to that, and it helped us with recruitment, the type of people to recruit, the companies to look out for, and see which of our recruitment methods were better, to see if there was a particular department that was having issues recruiting. These things is sometimes you cannot go and tell someone, oh, I did this. The person may not understand how it affects the organization as a whole. But for HR, it tells a good story. The important thing is to be able to sell a story to people. To sell a story, you need to start with quick wins. What is the priority? Is this a problem? You're looking for someone for this role. So what I realized that roles that were difficult to fill, I started going back in the past, the people we found to fill the roles that were successful, where did they come from? And I used that and replicated in other roles. That was a quick win. Then that being said, what are the main concerns the organization has? HR typically is seen as a service provider. But if you're able to solve business problems, you become a business partner. You have people, talents that are solving issues you have in your organizations, and they're leaving. There's a problem. I'm sure that there's a serious problem with retention in a lot of organizations. If you can use data to find out why, I'm sure that's one of the things. These 10 items here, 12 items here are one of the top 12 issues that CEOs have. All these things we can link to human resources in one way or the other, either our outcomes or our activities. The important part is what is the link. When you find the link, Titi kept on talking about drilling down, drilling down, drilling down. You need to be able to drill down. You need to be able to drill down and find solutions from inside. And these are solutions that are customer focused. In summary, the first thing you need to do is to build your competency. You should be able to, as you build your competency with short-term wins also, it helps to build your, how do I say, your confidence. Sometimes, even if the competency is not there, but the confidence is there, your manager sees, oh, you have the drive for this, you're doing this, he will support you. Then in what you're trying to share with your organization, the changes you're trying to make, are you doing it for yourself or for the customer? Your boss has issues with recruitment, but all you've done is do a pretty dashboard that shows information. It's colorful, it's nice, yes. But what's your boss looking at using that for? If it doesn't give him any information, yes, it's nice. He may not ask you about it again. Also importantly, keep it simple. Keep it simple. As you grow, as you learn continuously, as you plan and implement short-term wins, you find yourself moving from operational HR to strategic HR. In all of these things, I moved to Promasidor about 3 weeks ago, and I can confidently say one of the things that helped me was my ability to analyze data. The fact that I knew how to use Power BI, and also I could speak the language that links little HR activities to business outcomes. People want to know, okay, how can you link recruitment to us making money? All those metrics is not just tracking it, it's telling a story. You have a dashboard, you have a pretty dashboard, you can use Power BI, but it's very important you tell a story that solves a problem for the organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Idrak. I'm sure we learned a lot from that session. And so far from the 3 hours we have spent, it has been an amazing time spending these 3 hours with you. And I know that we are burning with a lot of questions and a lot of inquiries as regards the main class. Kemilawa will be in the group chat, and Ngozi will too also be on the group chat for them to answer your questions. And my name is Akim Balogun. I'll also be on the group chat to answer your questions as regards the class. We are starting our main class 13th of March. Next month, the main class will start on the 13th of March. But you can start registration. The link will be sent to the group chat and other information as regards the class. And you can be on your way to become the biggest HR professional in the field. Thank you for staying with us for these 3 hours. Really enjoyed our time with you, and we know that you also enjoyed the class. At this point, we'll be bringing the class to an end, and we'll continue communication on our group chats. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us this particular evening.